Chuck Chansey Park, the site, week number 6, and Saturday comes to a conclusion. Fresno Football Club is back home, and they're undefeated tonight. The #1 team in the Western Conference entering the weekend, Tulsa Roughnecks, are set to pay a visit. Tonight's match sponsored by 93.7 Kiss Country. With Matt Stubbington, Mike Watts on hand. You listen to Adam Smith say it, Matt, and draws aren't going to be enough over the length of a 7-month season to make the playoffs. Fresno knows that.
Absolutely do. Last year, there was an unbeaten streak last year with a lot of draws, not enough 3 points. That has to change this season, or they won't make the top 10. Part of that is keeping the ball out of the back of the net, and when you got C.J. Cochran, one of the best in the league, it's pretty easy to do that. He's made some special saves at important parts of the games this year, and that has really buoyed his teammates to perform better and get the draws and the wins when they needed them. And he's a great communicator, plays the geometry of the position so well. He's a great leader between the sticks.
He plays the first half of tonight's matchup of the game, brought to you by Own a Car Fresno. The other side being the man he has to stop, the Golden Boot leader at a very early stage. 7 goals for an outside back no one had heard of named Luca Lobo.
That's pretty special. 7 goals on the season, but he's pretty special the way he gets on the end of the set pieces that are just served on a platter by Rodrigo da Costa. He gets into those spaces, he fights for the ball, and then when he doesn't get on the end of the cross, he does a great job of framing up the goal, just like you're taught to as a youngster, and consequently, he's been successful, and he will be a marked man, make no mistake, from Fresno tonight.
2 goals against Orange County, 2 against LA Galaxy, 2 California clubs. Beware of Luca Lobo, who leads a Tulsa side that has struggled in the early going on the road. We'll tell you just how they've struggled when we come back. Fresno undefeated. Does it continue at Chuck Chansey Park? Stick around. Chuck Chansey Park in Fresno, California. Select ball in hand. Referees making their way out with Fresno Football Club and Tulsa Roughnecks FC set to meet in just moments. With Matt Stubbington, Mike Watts on hand. Why don't we take a look at tonight's starting 11? It's brought to you by El Mexicano. Begin with Tulsa Roughnecks. It's a group that has made a couple of changes with a midweek defeat against LA Galaxy 2 last time out.
Primarily at the left back position, Montpremier comes in the action tonight. The two teams play a very similar tactical formation, so it'll be interesting to see how that shapes up. Staj Duhar in goal for Tulsa will want to make amends for conceding 4 in the middle of the week. For Fresno, they got a good lineup coming. They've got Jackson back in as he was out injured or substituted out injured last time out. He returns to his midfield role. Martin, who came in when Jackson went out, replaces Ellis Hayden, who's still missing through injury. Other than that, it's as you were with Hadovic and Basilovic playing in the midfield roles.
And Hiroki Kuramoto is on the bench and available tonight. We have yet to see his Fresno FC debut. So Fresno looking to continue an unbeaten run. Tonight's road to victory is brought to you by Travel Shop. Matt, what does Fresno need to do to get a win? What does Tulsa have to do to steal points on the road?
Well, for the visitors, they've got to make sure that they eliminate the errors that we saw midweek and don't get stretched. Again, we saw that midweek. The team got spread out and they made some unforced passes to the opposition, consequently giving away some cheap goals on the transition. For the home team, Adam Smith wants to make sure that they play with tempo and more quickly, and they also need to make sure they look forward as often as possible to unbalance their opposition.
Fresno is undefeated, and at home, Tulsa tops in the West entering the week. Underway to close Saturday night in the championship. Matt Stubbington, Mike Watts on hand. Nicholas Marine is the referee. Kick backwards by Brian Reyes. He makes his first start in a Tulsa uniform, having come on from Platense. And when Pablo Caffa's arms outstretched, not sure why this was coming back.
I think the ball might have gone out for a throw-in. Caffa didn't keep it in. A miss. So Chavez returns to the starting lineup for Fresno FC. He picked up a little bit of a knock, recovered from that. Also notice that Lobo, who's been playing at right fullback in this early part of the season for Tulsa, is actually at left fullback. Montpremier is at right fullback tonight.
It's a team without Moses Makinde, who's dealt with injury over the last couple of weeks. Not in the 18 again. Pardon, returning to the 18, I should say. And Anthony Legendre unavailable tonight. Ball is crossed, and ultimately, offside flag was up.
Nice interchange of passes there from Fresno. Positive. So Jamel Johnson might have looked towards the goal for one of those spectacular shots we saw from him last year. Decided to try and slip that ball into the outside channel. Looking for Caffa, just straight offside. Positive for the Foxes in this early going.
Jackson reverses. Elijah Martin getting a more prominent role tonight alongside Amir Ali Hadzik.
Last time out, Ali Hadzik had to move into the midfield role, the center midfield position, with Seth Moses receiving his second yellow card. Adam Smith tactically had to go to a 4-4-1 lineup and playing with 10 men for the majority of the game against Phoenix.
Sure was interesting hearing him say what I think a lot of fans think and sometimes coaches will deny. Sometimes you need the result to be able to prove that your decision worked out. That's a bad pass. And Altamirano carrying forward. The shot is on. Ricochets off the crossbar. The goal kick is coming, and Tulsa in transition nearly made Fresno pay.
Well, it was a terrible square pass from Caffa that led to this opportunity. Was he shooting? I'm not sure. Either way, CJ Cochran was cheating off his line, and Altamirano almost made the captain and the goalkeeper pay for their errors.
Tonight's injury report is brought to you by Physio Motion as Cochran drills it away. Ellis Hayden with a calf. Jackson returns from a hamstring injury. Sean Lewis is out with a quad injury, the typical starting goalkeeper for Tulsa. Missing a couple of key players during this road swing. As they're without Idrisu Abdallah, Anthony Legendre, and Akil Barrett, two of whom started against Galaxy 2 midweek. Pushed into the attacking third. Kaffa crossing, ricochets away from Chavez. And Basulovic will reverse to Martin. I don't want to speak too soon, but so far the returns have been pretty good on Kaffa working the left. Cross, aimed towards Jackson. He pummels the defender from behind.
Lobo did pretty well to get this one away from his net under the duress from Jackson. In the end, the referee blows for the foul from the Brazilian, but I agree, Kaffa's been pretty good down that left flank. The prior attack could have pulled the ball back, perhaps. And the players lining up, chose to drive it across the line of the 6. It was a dangerous moment that Tulsa were able to deal with.
Kaffa will go all the way back to Cochran. Cochran deserves his fair share of credit for the 0-0 draw against Phoenix, but Phoenix made it difficult on themselves by failing to put the ball on target enough. Kaffa is offside, and this ball feathered over the top.
Phoenix Rising, they had some really good moments throughout this season. They've not put enough balls into the back of the net. At least converted the chances. I'm sure their fans will say, hey, we need to keep it out of the back of the net. We've been on the wrong end of some 3-3 draws.
A run away from Janu Silva. Phoenix, with their full-time change in coaching staff, Rick Shantz is the man now, having replaced Patrice Cartheron midway through last year. They knew there was going to be some bumps along the way, but 4 draws to start for the reigning conference champion probably wasn't what they were looking for. You look at a team like that, they've dropped a lot of points. They've left 8 points on the floor. Fresno in a similar predicament right now, but you look at both conferences and there's points all over the cutting room floor.
Yeah, nobody's trying to run away and hide. I mean, certainly it's difficult to hide when you're only 6 weeks into the season, but at some point you would have thought that one team would have stepped out from the pack a little bit, but that's not the case in either conference.
Tulsa may have opened the weekend in first, but 10 points in 6 games. Ball flicked forward, aimed for Bastidas. Off of Lobo. Kaffa will throw.
Alan Smith, as you would expect, gives Pablo Kaffa free rein to wander the field at his leisure. Brought him out at halftime against Phoenix Rising, saying that he couldn't expect that Kaffa would be able to maintain the physical presence needed throughout the whole match, with Fresno playing down a player.
Foul Reyes. Native of Honduras, has played a bit in CONCACAF League, the essentially, whether you call it Copa Sudamericana or Europa League of sorts for the CONCACAF region. Run away from Jackson, and Lobo will throw.
Fresno trying to switch the point of attack, spread out the opposition. Not quite able to find the space. Jackson had stepped inside.
Chavez giving chase. Milan Roberts took a bit of an elbow for how late he delivered that. And now Fresno pushes forward. Cooper charging in. Basulovic. Now taken out on the backside by Reyes. It's been a little bit slow, and you and I were looking for a little more tempo out of Fresno. Kafa floats up. Stajdahar makes the grab.
Well, the fact that Kafa elected to use the right foot for the cross, that's what it was begging for. Nice footwork from the coach.
Is that sarcasm? That's a goalkeeper for you. Whew.
Of course, I'm not sure you agree with the decision the way he kicked that ball away.
Oh, I think I'm probably laying it on too thick. If he's just trying to keep that a little further away, then that's as good a touch as you can offer.
If he's wearing the uniform, he get a yellow card for time wasting.
Yeah. Hey, you can yellow card the bench now. One of the newer FIFA rules of the last couple of years. You can yellow card individuals on the bench, I should say.
Of course, Adam probably saying, well, I didn't have my boots on, that's why I lost control of it and kicked it down over the byline.
He's done a really good job this year of sort of setting the expectations appropriately. I think he's done a good job of figuring out personnel in the early going without sacrificing results. Again, today we'll see Jaime Chavez get a shot at that striker job. You bring in Seth Moses, now you're going to use a different holding midfielder. I think Adam Smith sort of testing the waters a little bit early without dropping too much in the interim.
Coming into the season, right from the end of last season, he knew what had to be addressed as far as the team was concerned, who he wanted to come back. He knew he needed a number 6. He knew he needed a number 9. Bringing in Seth Moses, Chavez, Kuramoto. He's hoping that he's addressed those needs, and there's more competition in the forward ranks now. The team is deeper, and I think that's a positive thing. The competition, from what Adam has been telling us in our calls to him, is a lot stronger in practice, and that is just going to breed a better team environment.
Danger coming. Can Silva force his way through? He doesn't.
Mr. Marin's letting them play.
Flag is up here. This will be offside. Chavez spinning out under the pressure of Cyprian Hedrick.
And Smith explaining the offside rule to the assistant on this near sideline. He doesn't think that Chavez was off. Had to be close.
Astidis.
If I was the 4th official, I might go around the other end of the scorers table there and spend some time with Michael NCN.
Valencian's been a little more focused on the quality on the field at present. To be fair, the ball's been down in his end a little bit less. Astidis could sneak his way through. What a great story Michael Encian is. First look at him here. Been working with youth for a long time. Really wanted to transition to the professional game. USL Championship Coach of the Month is a nice first touch for his professional coaching career. But his family is from Tulsa. His wife is from Tulsa. And while he had always sort of mentally hedged his bets, what if we do have to go, this he considers the best case scenario. The whole family gets to stay in Tulsa, and he gets to run a professional franchise in the championship. This is Jackson committing a foul, and NC inside will get a free kick.
I like the comment in the notes that you shared with me from Coach Encian that he'd been preparing his family for a possible move if the chance had come up for a job in the professional ranks. He was very relieved and excited, not just excited, but relieved that they didn't have to move from the Tulsa area.
Grew up in the Greenwood district right near One Oak Field, so it's as close as you get. Put in by DaCosta, caught by Cochran.
Save, CJ Cochran.
Well, I think save is probably a bit of a stretch, but nice snag. Good to hear our old friend on the public address.
Well, Cochran did have to stretch for the save. Yeah, announcer trying to pad the stats of C.J. Cochran.
Boy, Kaffa and Stajdahar going all the way.
Goalkeeper taking a little bit of a risk, shepherding that one out for the goal kick. It's going to be really important for C.J. Cochran, particularly on the set pieces. DaCosta does serve a great ball in, especially from the right side of the pitch. Bending away or into the goalkeeper, it's very difficult to come and claim. So Cochran's going to have to make sure that he organizes the defense, takes control of the box, and communicate very clearly on those dangerous set-piece balls coming in.
Well, 15 minutes are gone, and that's a good sign for Tulsa. They conceded in the first quarter hour in each of their first 3 road games. And they've kept a clean sheet to this stage. Jamal Johnson, kicked away by Cochran. Door open by Mo Martin Del Campo. Martin. Away from Jackson.
Martin trying to get in the attack. Ellis, Hayden, and Cooper, Adam Smith and Fresno have a lot of balance going forwards. Ellis Hayden out with the right calf strain. So it's going to be really important for Elijah Martin to join the attack, get some balance down both flanks. And able to create quite the angle needed on the pass to Spring Jackson.
Ball's heavily onto the overloaded side here. Kaffa dishes it away. Played down the middle. Stajdahar able to scoop this up with Jackson and Chavez bearing down. Campo giving chase. Good distribution to find DaCosta. DaCosta looking for Silva, snipped out. And back by Reyes.
That was great work from Stajdahar. I think Jackson and Chavez kind of got in each other's way as they were trying to run onto that through ball. The goalkeeper was brave and composed, and then the distribution was fantastic. Credit Alex Cooper getting back into the central defensive role to block out the cross from DaCosta. Recognizing that Del Campo had gone out into the left back position, vacated by Cooper.
Premier. Falls kindly on the ricochet. Chavez looking for Jackson, and Hedrick cut it out. The interesting thing about Lobo is that if he folds inside, he is actually a trained center back that's out of position at outside back, and Hedrick has that little extra flexibility.
Great to have that interchangeability on the back line. That was good movement there from Jackson and Chavez. Interesting to see that Jackson's coming in a little bit more centrally, not hanging out on this sideline as we've seen in earlier games.
Jamal Johnson floats it over everybody. Montpremier after Ali Hadzik. Did keep it in play. Recycled ball. Stajdahar's got it. And quick again with the distribution. Altamirano won't get there. That's a good recovery by Elijah Martin. Worth noting, I think Hedrick was playing a little outside back at San Antonio a year or two ago as well. So
You trying to make me say interchangeability again?
Yeah. The beauty is in the ability to interchange, the interchangeability. Running out of room here in the corner. Fabian Bastidas. Throw here for Tulsa. Team that's played more games than anybody else in the league. They'll often waffle between most and least given how many two-game weeks they'll play, given their place in the country. On the turn, Altamirano. Montpremer over the top, headed down. Silva didn't get it in. First really good look here for Tulsa so far through about 20 minutes.
Well, questions have to be asked there. What were Fresno doing defensively? That ball came back out to Montpremer. Good ball in on the second phase, and I think everybody playing in the blue shirt of Fresno were watching the ball, not paying any attention to the fact that there were 3 players open on the far post.
Fans, you can follow Fresno Football Club, Tulsa Roughnecks, and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN Plus, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. You can join over 2 million sports fans who've already discovered ESPN Plus. Watch the championship live every week. Go to ESPNplus.com. Ball crossed, Jackson in mind, Lobo back setting. And Lobo, the beneficiary of Bastidas' back pass. As far as Martin. Couple players fall down. Here's Jackson. Crossing, popped up by Jamal Johnson. Way too much pace for him to handle. Jaime Chavez was in an offside position when that got released.
Martin trying to get forwards. Ended up taking a defender into the space Jackson was trying to exploit. Consequently, Jackson had to cross the ball over and was high and behind Jamal Johnson. Would have been a miracle if he'd been able to get that one goalward.
Reyes out wide. Montpremer.
Both teams doing a really good job of forcing the pace. Said that Adam Smith wants Fresno to play more quickly. They're also looking forwards a lot more than they were last time out. So important to be positive. Part of that is knowing where you want to go with the ball before it gets to you. That's a skill that's so difficult for young players to learn, is having the confidence in your ability to control the ball and look up and look around you, see where the pressure's coming from, and have the time to see where your teammates are. Too often they get the ball at their feet and then they wonder what they're going to do with the ball. The players at this level and beyond have already made the decision with the ball before it's even got to them.
Jamal Johnson. Well, slow and steady right now. Sulovic got it forward. Cooper winding across, caught by Stajdahar. For once, he'll hit the break for a moment.
Again, Jackson coming inside, running towards the near post. Chavez was coming to the far post. Yeah, they went between the two, and the goalkeeper was able to make the nice grab from the cross.
Be sure to tune in Wednesday, April 17th, a 5:30 p.m. Pacific start for the ESPN USL Championship Game of the Week. On ESPN3, new expansion side Austin Bold playing host on what is Bring Your Farm Animal to Work night against last year's Cup runner-up Phoenix Rising. It's the week's best match, the Game of the Week, next Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN3. You hear about this?
We'll bring your farm animal to work.
Altamirano. More on that in a moment. Altamirano, did Martin push? He didn't.
Tulsa have been the beneficiaries of some PK calls this season. But not on that occasion. Altamirano going to ground a little bit too easily for my taste. But Martin is going to have to be careful. Tulsa do have some pace.
Well, it's Farmer in Deval night for Austin's home game against Phoenix on April 17th. You get a free cowbell to the first 100 guests. You're allowed to bring chicks, ducks, geese, goats, cows, pigs, turkeys, sheep, horses, llamas, and donkeys. Which means Las Vegas Lights will certainly be there with Dolly and Dottie, even if they have to travel 1,000 miles for it. The overlap is on. The cross headed away by Milan Roberts.
As Fuego can't go, they said no foxes, right?
No, Fuego's out of luck.
I'm just wondering how they're going to get all these creatures through the turnstiles. Do they need tickets or do they get in for free?
You know, I'm looking at the list of animals, and I don't know which one most resembles a fox, but if you dress them up like a donkey, is that appropriate? I don't know. Anywho, it says the animals get in free. Doesn't say anything about the guests. The patrons, the fans. Ball flicked onward for Jackson, who's showing good motor here. Christian Chaney throws his arms out. He's frustrated. Jackson kicking the ball back at the feet of Brian Reyes.
I have to say, Reyes did a really good job of recovering that. Putting himself between Jackson and the ball. Jackson probably thought that he had a chance to get goal side and attack the net. Marion saying, no more, gentlemen. There's the shove in the back. You see the positioning, though, of Reyes trying to find a way to make sure that Jackson couldn't get the ball under control, knowing that he was beat for speed.
All recovered by the Foxes. Leak out to Basulovic. Just got by Silva. It's a 50-50 ball. Bastidas won. Reyes leading upfield. Bastidas is the player on the wing. He can't quite bring that down.
Frustration for Bastidas. He was in acres of space. Martin enjoyed the attack. I wonder if Adam Smith will change the instructions to Jackson. Stay a little wider on occasion. Narrowing the field. Having said that, I'm looking across and Jamal Johnson is coming inside as well. Adam Smith has seen something on tape as far as what Tulsa do, and who's to argue? Fresno have done a pretty good job of getting into the attack. Nothing really goalward yet, though.
Hadzik turn that over on his long ball forward at Dye. Off of Martin, stays with the Roughnecks. It's a team that returned just one player from last year, and if you talk to Michael Ensian about it, he'll say there were players we wanted to keep, but we felt like a change of scenery was good for just about everybody in the organization. He came in as the interim coach and ultimately kept DJ Dean, who's not in the 18 tonight. It is a young player with a lot of potential. Ultimately, they built from scratch.
We had the call of the game prior to Michael Encian taking over the reins, and goalkeeper Serta, after the second goal went in, just sat disconsolate.
Jackson slips it ahead. Jaime Chavez slides down. He felt he got pulled down by Cyprian Hedrick.
Chavez just needs to stay on his feet there for one more step. He tried to take the shot too early. And in the end, Hedrick was able to ride him off the ball. For my money, there was no foul. The referee got it right.
Time on Premier. Recovered by Chavez. Leading Jamal Johnson, crossing for Kaffa. It's out of his reach. And Lobo fires it into the Fresno bench.
Adam Smith is feeling that his team have got their tails up. He's trying to control the ball again on the sideline as it goes out for the throw-in.
Jackson Gonsalves. Kaffa. Martin rises up. Kaffa's all alone. Brings that down. The Argentine wheels it back to Ali Hadzik, who lost it with a poor first touch. Ali Hadzik's clearly going to get a yellow for this. Absolutely has to.
And does so. Frustration for Ali Hadzik. It was a good vision from Kaffa that found him in the middle of the park. The touch let him down. Tactical foul here. Ball's going past the halfway line, and in a different sport, he'd be getting a personal foul, 15-yard penalty, wouldn't he?
I think that's a spot foul.
Spot foul.
That pass interference. Well, the ball hadn't.
Oh, there's a horse on the old.
That's two different penalties, my friend.
I know it's naughty. I just can't remember what.
Oh.
Not allowed to do it in either football.
There were just so many fouls on that play that we couldn't pick which one.
It was offensive in so many ways.
Lobo, the league's leading goal scorer, steps forward. Primarily been playing at right back. Came here as a center back. Today playing at left back. Lobo heading it across. Plenty of contact. Nothing worth whistling. Chavez and Milan Roberts both go up for the aerial duel, and Chavez went flying. To go back to your point, Fabian Serta at the back end of that David Vaudreuil era, he lasted a year and a half. The first year, incredible. When Pablo Kaffa was a key component of that Roughnecks team that went from bottom of the league to a playoff team, blowing just about everyone's expectations away. And then the next year, they start 16 games winless as Kaffa takes over. And the shot is on and in! Jamal Johnson! Curling effort of perfection. Fresno leads.
We know he can strike from distance. It's been a while coming. This was set up from desire and want to from Kaffa, the captain. Keeping the play alive, loses the control, going to ground. Uses the left foot to tap it across to Johnson. The Englishman knows just what to do. He curls it with the inside of the right foot past the diving goalkeeper, Staj de Hart, who could do nothing about it. Opportunistic on the strike. Kaffa made the luck. Jamal Johnson converted beautifully.
Jamal Johnson has been waiting for fans to light up those smoking fireworks all year, and he's finally done it in a goal that looks eerily similar to the first he scored last year at Chuck Chansey Park, didn't it? Elijah Martin had come off after the injury and is waiting for the referee to welcome him back on.
Jackson filling in at right fullback for the moment. Martin is waved back on.
Anywho, one more moment on this. David Vaudreuil, really good guy, great coach. Didn't work out year number 2. They got pilfered by other teams. Kaffa, one of the big pieces that left. And ultimately, you wish him well in what goes forward, but this is essentially the second time they've entirely rebooted a franchise now in 3 years.
Mike White, Phil.
And dangerously to Bastidas.
Bastidas is frustrated. Jackson will be lucky if he doesn't get a yellow. Certainly getting a talking to. And again, Bastidas did beautifully here, getting goal side of Jackson. Jackson certainly one of the fastest, if not the fastest, on the Fresno team. Will challenge any defender. Bastidas just getting between the player and the ball, and then the frustration of Jackson just sweeping the legs.
Bastidas. Fabian Bastidas never really had a chance there as he pulls the trigger from 35 yards out.
Hudzik is getting a little frustrated as well. Sitting on a yellow, needs to make sure he doesn't grab the arms and shoulders of players going past him again.
Well, we may already know the answers to this, but who's up and who's down? Where does your club sit? Find out every Monday. The official USL Championship Power Rankings are only on USLChampionship.com. They just did a Power Rankings feature this week where it's actually, I think, best beers of teams, best official beers. Jackson goes down and took a big hit from Milan Roberts, which I think was entirely unintentional. I don't think Adam Smith feels quite that way.
As a coach, you'll always go to bat for your players. If you don't think that there was anything in it, generally you just sit down quietly and let it go. Jackson welcomed his family from Brazil this week. Adam Smith giving him Tuesday off to go and collect them from the airport and get them settled.
Sometimes I think we forget the human element of all this, don't we? You've got all these new players in Tulsa. You return just one. They all need to find places to live. They're all moving families in. Yep. None of them have played together for the most part. Literally starting from scratch. Chavez is down. The athletic trainer came out. Initially, they were signaling for him to be carried off. He'll get up under his own power. He was dealing with an injury over these last few weeks. Kaffa and Smith have talked this out. And Christian Chaney got the chance here the last couple weeks and simply did not produce early enough to hold off Chavez from his return.
Chaney is a work in progress. You and I agree. He has all of the physical tools and abilities that it takes to become a great player. Adam Smith says he always create chances for himself, but at some point he has to convert those chances.
Chavez returns. This ball lifted over the back line, out to Mirano, lifting across, headed back across and in! Janu Silva! And Tulsa's cooking in Fresno. It's all level at 1.
Wonderfully taken goal. The ball floated in at the box. Confusion reigns in the back line. Daly and Martin talk about it. Lovely control. Ball just drifted in. Martin was all out of position. That's why Daly was questioning where he was. Cochran coming to his far post. The ball back across his face. He couldn't set himself and make any attempt on the ball. Nice finish from Silva.
Tulsa Roughnecks.
Out to Marino on the assist.
Janu Silva's second Tulsa Roughneck goal. Finally, someone other than the outside back has scored for Tulsa. Only a marginal exaggeration. This will mark 3.5 games in the books for Tulsa on the road this year. 10 goals conceded, 9 goals scored. They play absolute shootouts. It seems like it's like that every year with the Roughnecks. Jackson stepped in. Chavez tried to take it away from Hedrick, who was fouled. Jeff Adai will spin this out. His dad, Samuel, a pro player, born in Canada, time in Ghana and in England. A couple years ago, found his way to Mannheim in Germany. Ultimately still calls Ottawa his hometown. Martin played that dangerously back towards Silva. Now the attack is on for Tulsa. Altamirano trying to keep this ball alive. Finally, the swarm of foxes take it away. I suppose a pack of foxes.
At the moment, it's Fresno that are on the back foot. A little bit disjointed to the home team to make sure that they get themselves back on the same page. Scoop it waved back to the halfway line for the throw-in.
Being told it's not a pack, it's a skulk of foxes. What's a group of roughnecks?
You'll have to look that one up.
One of the best derbies in the championship is a couple weeks away. The Roughnecks and OKC, the Black Gold Derby as well. Well, it's a foul against Fresno in the 43rd minute.
Premier was doing, went to ground as if he was hurt. Things back in order by the looks of things, and he's up and moving freely. Not sure what that was all about. Chavez thought he was unduly served, getting the ball against him.
Johnson, it back by Bastidas. Back circles Martin from the Fresno area, having played the last few years with the Galaxy organization. Chavez heading it outside. Jackson. Reyes.
Great job with the effects, Mike's able to pick up the communication with the players on the field. Cries of man on and direction of where to pass the ball. Just tell my young players, communication has to be constructive. You have to tell your teammates where the pressure's coming from, where you want the ball passed. It's no good just saying, I'm over here or whatever. You gotta say, you know, I'm on your right, I'm open. At least your teammate has an idea of where you want the ball to be played.
Trying to get to the edge. Tulsa trying to get that back into the 18 with Rodrigo DaCosta nearby. It did get out over the line. That communication takes a little bit of time, doesn't it?
It does.
It seems obvious at times, though. But
it's so tough for young players, and they just don't want to be vocal on the pitch. Even at this level, some players are vocal leaders, and some just don't want to say boo to a goose.
That's a really clever move. Create a bit of space by Bastidas, who got run over in the end. Free kick Tulsa. Their most dangerous element, the set piece.
Smith asking for it to be called both ways. It's in the merest of click of heels that sent Bastidas to the ground, but this is a really good moment here. One of the toughest teams, most dangerous teams from the set piece in the whole of the championship.
3 minutes.
Right before half time.
Well, Ramon Martin Del Campo's bodying up Luca Lobo, who is unparalleled in the league right now. Altamirano ultimately spin that out of play.
He was trying to go for goal, I think. So Del Campo trying to keep a high line, make life difficult. In the end, the ball was a nothing cross, a nothing effort towards the goal. CJ Cochran was able to just watch it go. Chavez climbs the ladder well for those long clearing balls from the goalkeeper.
Johnson searching out Jackson. Cleared by Hedrick. Well, he was asking a moment ago how many minutes of stoppage. We're halfway through it. Michael Ensian missed the board going up during all the hullabaloo. That set piece a moment ago. Foul, Fresno free kick. Final minute, first half stoppage time. Coming up at halftime, sponsored by 93.7 Kiss Country. We'll take a look around some league scores. Remind you about who won SL Player of the Month, Team of the Week. Some of the best goals from the week that was, highlights, stats, and more, all coming up right here.
Fresno thought about taking this quickly. He said, no, let me serve one up.
Juan Pablo Cafa. Throw Fresno, and the referee is running into the middle of the field. Try and settle things. Referee is no longer taking callers. Well, one throw should take this to the halftime whistle. Martin. Jackson! It is a foul for Fresno. It's a yellow card to DaCosta. And everything from here is a self-made mistake for Tulsa. Should it get worse?
Got to eliminate the errors. I think he was trying to clear the ball. Missed it, left his feet. Takes Jackson to boot. Probably was deserving of the yellow card.
A 51-50 yellow card. He couldn't from here, could he? Kafa! Oh, it rung off the post and out. Saved by the bell. Halftime for Tulsa. And now pushing and shoving after the fact as the intensity continues to mount.
Well, you asked the question, and yes, he could. Rings the post as Kaffa. Players are not happy about something. I was following the bouncing ball, so I don't see what happened in the melee after the ball bounced off of the post. The goal scorer for Tulsa, Silver, is being led away.
AJ Ajagwa, the reserve striker, is the one walking him out. This first half missing anything, Matt?
I'm sorry, what?
I think it's been just about everything. Jamal Johnson, first of the year, golazo. Fresno took the early lead, but Tulsa responds in kind. Less than 10 minutes later, Janu Silva and the Roughnecks, as they have all year, have responded 1-all. We've got highlights, stats, and more coming up after this. Chuck Chansey Park in Fresno, California, the site. Week 6 action between Fresno and Tulsa Roughnecks with Matt Stovington, Mike Watts. Let's take a look at some of the big news around the USL. The team of the week and the player of the month have both been announced, and let's show you who is deserving of the accolades. And we begin with the reigning team of the week, Koreniuk, with a brace last time out against this very Tulsa side. Well, Timbakis, the goalkeeper from North Carolina, has been fantastic. We saw Sebastian Guinzotti earlier today, and the Rowdies struggled to a 1-1 draw with Louisville.
They certainly did, but Fernandez was very bright as well. He's Guinzotti's teammate. Some really good, deserving players in that. And Koreniuk, not only a brace, but he also got an assist in a 4-2 win against Tulsa in midweek. And then your player of the month, very deserving, Santi Moa, a wonderful player, comes in really well from the left-hand side, scored a beautiful goal with the right peg, and he's got 4 goals on the season with 1 assist in 6 games played.
Great start for New Mexico, who, if they could just keep leads, would be top of the West, but that story for another time. Fresno and Tulsa level, 1 goal apiece at halftime. Week 2 of League 1 and Week 5 of the USL Championship are in the books, and some really good goals and saves to show you. Here's the very best of the week that was.
We offer.
And Jameson's going to get to the ball off the giveaway, and Bradford Jameson's got the first goal, and San Antonio FC is on the board.
On his way. Here's Ryan Sierakowski in the penalty area. Sierakowski!
Oh, weaving it forward. Oh, look, got a piece of that to Rob Dos Santos.
Plata, he'll take a shot, and a goal! Joao Plata!
Leo's ball, nice curl, this time headed for the goal!
This afternoon's match, a good ball into Lewis, what a strike! Zico Lewis.
Nice 1-2 there.
Here comes that scissors kick, and Isaac was alive to it.
Long range shot, curling, and it's in the back of the net!
And it's going to be Lewis, he just takes the strike. And Brandon Miller manages to get just a hair on it.
Austin Cole strikes first. Good ball in, John
He's going to give it a crack, deflected away by
Huntley lets it fly, and Juan punches it away.
and it is a goal.
Fleming's in for JJ.
Here's Nicoletto. Sends over, beautiful curler! Marco Micheletto. The right side of the box. Robinson punts back, looking for some help. Deflected there, chance in front of goal, stopped by Kirk.
Full head of steam. Perusa trying to chip the goalie, and that's exactly what happened.
Dennis. And that one off the crossbar, and Fitzgerald getting a piece of that.
Here's an opportunity. Zion buries it for the Red Wolves.
Advantage for the rest of this game. Endo going right at it, punched out by Herrera. Outstanding effort.
Cox runs over it. Second chance, Vega there, back of the net. Near post, headed on into the back of the net.
Now the winner is
Brilliant start for USL League One, and the championship is officially in full swing and into month number 2. Fresno and Tulsa, one of the highlights of week number 6. Let's take a look at some news and notes from around the USL Championship from week 5. As we welcome you back to Chuck Chansey Park with Matt Stubbington, Mike Watts on hand. In the East, St. Louis and Tampa Bay, 1 and 2. Well, that's going to change this week, isn't it?
It is going to change. It's going to be interesting to see how things play out as the season progresses. St. Louis not doing so well. Last time I checked the score, they were 3-2 down as time was winding down. And, of course, the Rowdies could only find a way to get a point at home against Louisville.
Let's take a look at what's upcoming in the West as the schedule begins on Wednesday with the ESPN USL Championship Game of the Week. Austin and Phoenix. Bring your ducks, bring your chicks, and you get a free ticket. Meanwhile, OKC taking on Orange County out in the West. Early start to that one. Rio Grande Valley with a great goal tonight, as that'll be on your highlight reels moving forward. Real Monarchs are getting smoked this evening, while San Antonio suddenly won 2 in a row. That's going to be a fun one Saturday.
It will be a fun one, and it's going to be interesting to see how Real Monarchs bounce back from this. 5-1 down to New Mexico United. You said New Mexico would be top if they could hold on to a lead. Think they might do it tonight, Mike.
That one's safe, and Phoenix finally a win. They're now 1-0-4 on the year. As, well, 7 points ain't nothing, but it's, well, not quite what they thought they'd have. It's 1-1 between Fresno and Tulsa. We've got the highlight you don't want to miss when we come back.
the net.
Energy drink. Grab your favorite
Chuck Chansey
flavor
Park
and experience
in
what
the
makes
Central
5150
Valley of
Energy
California.
Drink.
Fresno and
Top-shelf
Tulsa
product.
square,
Live the
1 goal
madness.
apiece
You
at
listen
halftime in a
with the
topsy-turvy
#1
night
newscast
in the
and #1
USL Championship.
Spanish-language radio station
Welcome you back
in the
wherever you're
Central
watching.
Valley.
Matt Stubbington, Mike Watts. Let's take a look at first half highlights. And Tulsa had trailed on the road in each of their first 3 road games within 15 minutes. Would not be the case early. Best chance belonged to Altamirano, skipping it off the crossbar.
Charging down the right flank. Whether he shooting, was he crossing, we don't know. Otherwise, it tested the goalkeeper and the woodwork of Cochrane's net. Going the other way. Jackson was bright, so was Chavez. He thought he was fouled. For my money, he wasn't. And then there was no mistaking this one. Jamal Johnson gets the ball. The captain keeping things alive, going to ground, gets the left foot to tap it over to Johnson. And the Englishman knows just what to do. Curls it in with the right foot, beautifully done. The goalkeeper, Staj Duhart, no chance whatsoever. That meant a lot to Johnson, meant a lot to the fans and the players as like, look at Cochrane coming out from net to celebrate. A wonderful moment, a wonderful goal. But at the other end, the visitors weren't done. And Silva pops up. Martin's out of position, Daly's out of position, chasing the ball. Trying to find out where it's going. It's going into the back of the net as Silva heads it back across the face of Cochrane. Altamirano with the cross, standing it up at the far post. And there was no mistake there from number 99 as he finds a way to put the ball in the back of the net. And in the end, it got a little bit physical. Fouls plenty. Free kicks at the end of the first half. And there's some excitement in the first 45 minutes. Look at that shot total. 30 shots in total, 10 of which have been on target. There's been a lot of action in that first 45.
No doubt about it. Tonight's match, halftime, and these stats are sponsored by 93.7 Kiss Country. So 45 minutes in the books here. As we're all square at 1 goal apiece. And if you're Fresno, you think about what they wanted to do coming into this match. They wanted to play with more tempo, play a little bit faster. I don't know that they did that in the first 20 minutes. I certainly felt like they did it a lot more in the final 25.
They did. They started to build and raise to the task. And I think Adam Smith was happy with large portions of that first 45 minutes. But Tulsa, they're a team that allow you to do that. They like to play an open game and allow the pace of the match to be brought up to breakneck speed. And being honest with you, Mike, I looked up and realized that the fourth official was holding up the 3 minutes of added time to the first 45 minutes. And I was like, really? We're at the end of the first half already? And I'm looking forward to this second half, and it's going to be breakneck pace with both of these teams. And Fresno are going to want to find a way to get back into the lead and see if they can hold it. entertain these great fans here in Fresno.
So the huddles are gathered. Tulsa, a team that has picked up 3 points from 3 road games.
There's a skulk right there.
A skulk of Foxes, as we've found out. Well, we've got a moment we should tell you. April 26th is Flashback Fuego Friday. The Foxes are going to be in their red throwback jerseys, $2 tall cans of Tecate. You can get your tickets at FresnoFC.com. Be a part of the skulk of Fox fans that are in the stadium as we're ready for the second half of play. Tulsa looking to pick up precious road points against a Fresno side. We've got a standing goal in the first half, but would like to do a little bit more here in the second. Ball knocked ahead by Reyes. Teams appear unchanged at the half. Ball for Silva, caught by Cochran. When you think about the Roughnecks this year, a couple of their road games, they've sort of been willing to be temperate on the gas pedal in the first half, knowing it's a long game. Paul Johnson knocking this off of Montpremier. That's actually served them pretty well at times. In this first half, I didn't feel like they were falling away necessarily from Fresno. Ultimately did concede 17 shots.
This corner kick sponsored by
Tulsa are a
Central
team
Valley
that are willing to
Toyota
mix
Dealers. It's a scoring opportunity. So
Find a way to put your opposition under pressure. The players to do it.
Kaffa. It's all the way out to Jackson. Campos not in a position he's too familiar with. Jackson returns. Kaffa crossing. Shot. Chavez upstairs. If number 9s could score for Fresno, they'd have a lot more points over the last year and a half. He's going to want that one back. It's tough to play that back across his body, but he's got to be kicking himself.
Oh, Del Campo did really well, squaring up the defender. Getting in deep into the box, put it back exactly where it needed to be. Chavez moving away from the goal, making the chance more difficult. But even so, that should definitely have been on frame.
It's gotten to the point where it's fascinating, to be honest. Whether you put Christian center has just struggled to produce goals with any consistency, and I didn't even mention the player last year that was brought in to be the talisman goal scorer. Ultimately, only
Low to get up, as is Hedrick. The foul is against the visitors, though. Fresno to play the ball forwards off the set piece. Tulsa will want some time for Hedrick, the defender, to get back. And
free kick coming here for the Foxes. Should note, Rodolfo has actually resurfaced at Atlanta United too.
I got the name, I got the right. The first letter and the last letter were right. It's Rodolfo.
Well, that's a false start. Back to those penalties, eh? Jackson able to get this through. Basulovic has won a corner for Fresno in the 50th minute.
He and Halahadze doing a fairly good job in the center area of the pitch, controlling things for Fresno. It's the first foray that either one of them have had going forwards.
Service toward Kaffa. What side of the flag did that get on? It's going to be a throw. Lifted for Del Campo. Not up to try and meet that. And will skitter all the way wide. Well, he's made himself a presence early in the second half.
Trying to get in the scoring ways. Lobo can do it for Tulsa. Why not Del Campo for Fresno?
Here come the Roughnecks into the attack. The impressive Altamirano. The goal kick, Fresno FC.
Good recovery from Wahadze. On the initial clearance from the goalkeeper, it looked like he didn't want any part of the headed challenge. And Alex Cooper went to ground. Wahadze realized that he had to get back defensively and did a good job, even winning the goal kick. Cochran will now take.
Cochran. Ground as he launched that away. Altamirano. Sliding in. Silva was in pursuit. Del Campo gets fouled.
I'm not sure what Del Campo had at halftime. He should bottle it if he continues playing with this energy. Really impressive from number 4 for Fresno. Strong in the challenge, and effective in the attacking third as well. Looked to go to Daly, wave of the hand from Mickey Daly, said no, I got pressure coming. And good decision from Del Campo to force the issue and forces Mon Premier to put it out for the corner kick.
Kaffa will step over 9 goals for Tulsa, 29 games in 2017.
Another scoring opportunity for the Zorros, so Fresno.
Career high in Kaffa's lengthy professional career. Well, everyone's got their arms out. Everyone's pretty angry about this. Ultimately, no one is in any trouble. Just be a goal kick for Stajduhar.
Like Del Campo ran into Hedrick and both went to ground.
Kick toward Lobo. Will run out over the touchline.
It's interesting that Adam Smith has gone with this more narrow lineup. See Jamal Johnson there standing level with the middle of the pitch at the bottom of the center circle. Often we'd see the outside mids for Fresno staying wider. It's something that Adam Smith is trying to get the team to do, to create more passing options for the defenders, or something that Tulsa is allowing Fresno to do.
Racing forward and kicked aside by Cochran. That's a really clever production of a chance there by Altamirano. DaCosta. Back toward Roberts. It's a really late whistle, but it came nonetheless. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Chavez, Kaffa, Has the help coming in from behind. Jackson. Lobo stopped it for a moment. Jackson crossing. Chavez! Fresno retakes the lead. 10 minutes out of halftime. And it's the goal the California native has been waiting for.
The ball starts on the near sideline, ends up on the far sideline. Great movement in the build-up to this play. And right there, see the run of Martin. Forces the defender to make a decision. He backs off of Jackson. Jackson stands it up at the back post. He impressed me with the way he climbs the ladder in the first half. He impresses even more when he climbed the ladder, put that one in the back of the net. A wonderful headed goal by Chavez.
And boy, did they chase him. On a contract at the end of last year. Finished the year out with the Tampa Bay Rowdies. 5 appearances, just 1 goal. They had known him as a player for a long time, a Chivas USA Academy player. And Jaime Chavez has scored his first in a Fresno uniform. Altamirano is the response here for Tulsa. I think the turf monster got more of that than Ali Hadzik, but it is a free kick for Tulsa.
It's one of those really tough ones as a defender. Rano doing a great job of changing his direction. Hadzik not able to control his body position. It may have been the turf monster, as you say, but there may have been the barest clicks of the heels, which would have been enough.
The lights just blew out over the far side of the stadium. Wow.
It wasn't me, I didn't touch the switch, I promise.
How about this?
It's going to be interesting, because sometimes floodlights can take a long time to come back on, because depending on the age of them, they might have to cool down before they can be switched back on.
Wow. Poor Mason Stajdahar is over here looking like the Dark Knight.
Looks pretty good from that angle. Looks like you could play the game.
Move the net to half field and let's play ball. And this is, look, if you're a coaching staff and you need time to prepare for a set piece, Fire Squad Fresno bring their own lights to the party.
I'm not sure it's going to be enough.
Well, it's turned into an EDM concert in Fresno, California. The Fres Yes Festival is back in downtown Fresno. They'll try and figure this out and see what the exact nature of this is. Some of the players are starting to kick balls around just to stay active.
Important to stay loose, stay free. You don't want to tighten up, risk a pull of a muscle. Neither team needs this. Game was really starting to get buzzing.
And it's worth noting that the Fresno Grizzlies home opener resulted in a 17-minute delay for a similar problem as well. Angel, one of our very favorite PR men in all the championship, giving us the exact details. And Michael Ensi inside saying, we can finish this at One Oak Field.
Hopefully the problem is fixed quickly, and hopefully it doesn't disrupt what has been a really entertaining game.
We are about to have a league record, I would imagine, amount of stoppage time.
I was just thinking the same thing. I looked at the score bug at the top there, and the clock's still running.
Oh, goodness. Well, you can see the ad boards are still lit here. And speaking of lit, Fire Squad Fresno seems to be enjoying this. Hopefully beer sales are not stymied before the hour mark.
I think the power just went off to the floodlights, not to the beer pumps.
Yeah. If you don't know how to tap a keg, then you should probably get out of food service, the stadium venue. Well, the Foxes are all gathered together right now, trying to get this figured out. It does appear that both liquor and Tecate sales continue. By the way, if you didn't hear already, tall cans of Tecate are only $2 in 2 weeks, as it's Fuego Flashback Friday. And you can party just like this. Hopefully they'll keep the lights on for you, as they'll have special red Fuego throwback jerseys, those big $2 cans. Get your tickets at FresnoFC.com. Meanwhile, it's a home game coming up for Tulsa. They'll take on Colorado Springs. And then next Saturday, pardon the 27th, not Holy Saturday, they'll have the Black Gold Derby's opening iteration in 2019. Stokesay Energy, which at present is an ironic team to mention. Galencian using this as a spare halftime. And so we wait.
Interesting scores around the league. Las Vegas Lights are shooting lights out. Again, scoring 5 tonight in 63 minutes.
All of a sudden, Eric Winalda's side looks like a world beater. The problem being that they're doing this to Tacoma Defiance.
Who are not.
Who are not. That's the kind of team that you want to kind of turn the lights off of.
There's been a hat trick in that game for the captain, Parra. Ataka has got 2 as well.
What a night to bring a flashlight. That is heads-up thinking.
Been a lot of goals around the league this week. Some high-scoring games. Thought Hartford might find a way to get a point. Their first of the season. The Riverhounds were having none of it. Put 2 goals in late. Put paid to that effort.
Phoenix, an important win over El Paso. 2-0 their first of the year. San Antonio won back-to-back games. Darren Powell's seat was probably feeling just a tidge warm. Seems to have dissipated. How about New Mexico and Salt Lake, huh?
They did end up holding on to that 5-1 lead.
Santi Molar, hat trick in the first half.
Well deserving of his Player of the Month award that he got.
Well, we're being told it'll be about a 5 to 10 minute wait from now. It was a 17-minute delay when this occurred for the Fresno Grizzlies. The AAA ball club calls Chuck Chansey Park home when a similar incident occurred. That is down the first base line, or the right field line of this stadium here on the far side of the field. A free kick was about to occur for Tulsa about 7-8 minutes ago, and the lights blew out. Tulsa knows how to pine for a camera. And we'll probably have somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes of stoppage time.
Does the fourth official's board go that high, you think?
It does, because he's using the number board for substitutions. So it's an all-out party, and the party continues this week when the ESPN Game of the Week goes to Austin. Assemble your barnyard crew, as Wednesday, April 17th at 5:30 Pacific, ESPN USL Championship Game of the Week action on ESPN3 features Austin Bold and Phoenix Rising. It is bring your farm animal to the game day, and you get a free ticket as they welcome the USL's reigning Western Conference champion. It's Wednesday night on ESPN3.
I can't tell you how much I'm hoping somebody brings a cow.
Cows are legal. Maybe now's not the right time, but if there's a time, this is it. My Aunt Kat has a farm just outside Austin, teaches photography, and there's horses. There are some cattle that are involved, but she's got a duck named Richard Nixon, and I'd like to think that Richard would be a fine addition to this party, and I'll tell you that I've invited her to the game. I hope she's there.
I hope so.
I hope she
I will
brings
be watching.
the duck.
I will be watching to see who's there. Fire Squad continuing good form and good voice.
Needs more cowbell, it turns out. Cowbell's one of the giveaways today. Cowbell's actually a giveaway for the Austin game. The first 100 cows through the turnstile will receive bells. And if you think that's a poorly timed joke, you're wrong. It's accurate. It's actually right there next to the fairground, and they're building that 5,000-seat stadium. They just finished it. It's gorgeous there in Austin. Those are the jerseys they're going to be wearing, by the way. The old Fuego jerseys. El Mexicano is actually the longest standing, believe it or not, jersey sponsor in the United States for one franchise. El Mexicano on the Fuego Foxes for over a decade, now to Fresno Football Club.
It's wonderful that they continued that sponsorship. Looks like the lights are slowly coming back on.
Well, we've got an update from Angel, who's in the midst of this all. We should give him a microphone. Michael Ensign is doodling at present. A blown fuse was the issue for the Grizzlies home opener, but it's unclear if that's the problem. And as expected, the reset should be done within 5 to 10 minutes from about 2 to 3 minutes ago, although I'm frankly kind of enjoying our experience.
This is going to be really tough, though, for the players to switch back on immediately. Pardon the turn of phrase there. We're talking about lights not being on, but it's so important because it's going to be a set piece that's going to be taken. And it's Tulsa on the attack. So important that Fresno are focused defensively. We've seen at times this game that they haven't done a good job of making sure that they mark the players during the second phase of play. They clear the first ball coming in, but then they don't find a way to keep track of all of the other movements off of the ball. As Tulsa try and send the ball back in for the second or third phases of a set piece.
So the lights are being reset here. We've been at a standstill for about 10 minutes time. For those joining us on CW 59 in Fresno and on ESPN Plus, thanks for waiting along with us. Matt Stubbington, Mike Watts, USL Championship action. A potential blown fuse, the issue, and we should be back to action within 5 minutes time. I would like to mention real quick, the Fresno Bee had an interesting article this week about Fresno continuing to look for a permanent home, and I think that the key point was, while the article alluded to the fact that could be outside of downtown Fresno, Frank Yallop continuing to look for areas to build a stadium, a more apt home for the franchise moving forward. And while this isn't frankly relevant to this current situation, I think everyone in Fresno, among the front office and the players and the coaches, have such an immense respect for what Fire Squad Fresno and the fan base have brought over this first year and a half that, you know, it just became clear. The quote that stood out was that Frank Yallop said, I want to get this right, even if it takes time to do so. And while it wasn't an issue I think was probably going to be addressed during the game without our 15-minute layoff, I think it's only fair to voice my support for that with the time we do have.
And that's one thing that with Fresno that we've seen from the get-go is that the club has wanted to make sure that the Fuego are involved in trying to keep ties to the local area and conversation with Adam Smith, and talked about Martin and his performance last time out, Casillas, the way he participated in the game against Phoenix, and showing the trust in the players that are coming through the system and the local lads, and showing that they have the chance to contribute to the team and to the club. And he said that that also perpetuates through the ranks and into the local area as the youngsters around the team see that they have the opportunity to make it.
Well, you mentioned it. Christian Chaney went to Fresno City College. We've got guys like Renato came through Fuego, Casillas, Fresno U23 last year, the renamed Fuego, so to speak. And you go through guys that getting a chance to play at home like Elijah Martin. Let's take a look at how we got here. It's 2-1 in favor of Fresno. Well, let's show you how we got to the score line that we're currently at, not our current lightless predicament. First goal came in the 33rd from Jamal Johnson.
Well, this was set up by Carver. Just wonderful work from him. Commitment to the ball. Toe taps it across to Johnson, and Johnson just knows how to score a goal and make it look spectacular. Didn't try and kill it into the net. He just passes it in, curling it beautifully with the right foot. And then talking about passing it, this time with the head, there was Silva passing it past Cochran. Cochran wasn't able to change his direction as Silva meets the cross from Altamirano. Does a beautiful job with it. And very similar. This time it's Jackson providing the cross for Fresno. And Chavez with his first goal for the club, putting it into the back of the net. Beautiful movement from Martin to take the defender away from Jackson, allowing him the angle for the cross. And Chavez, with those beautiful ups that he has, climbs up high, buries it into the back of the net. Really nice.
So we were wondering how this was going to work in terms of the clock, and we've got an answer.
We are back in action, fans.
The clock is going to move to 57:11, and after a 14-plus minute delay, we will continue with the game on a Tulsa restart.
I really wanted stoppage time. Can I protest? I really want to see the fourth official hold up.
At 23 minutes.
23 minutes of stoppage time.
You're just a glutton for punishment, aren't you?
I'll just call up Alec Ferguson and say, look, see?
Old Trafford really does put up big numbers.
He always seemed to get his 5 minutes. Well, Adam Smith got his 23 minutes.
Michael Ensian's face. What?
He'd be excited. He'd be like,
right
we have
now
time
at
to get
present, yeah. Oh, goodness.
What about the local lads for Fresno? Looking down Kuramoto. Saw him kicking the ball around with the substitutes. Sam Strong and a couple of the others.
Cochran looks like a human pretzel right now. I haven't been like that in like a decade and a half.
I think I ever did. Kuramoto wandering around the technical area, number 15 from Japan. Smith bringing him in to bolster the midfield ranks.
Yeah, well, Cochran's nice and spry now.
It's going to be key right now. Dead ball situation, attacking free kick for Tulsa. Let's make sure that Nicky Daly and Del Campo completely focused.
You know, it is kind of funny because if it were me, I'd go to the other dark side of the field and start practicing set pieces if I were Tulsa. Why not? Let the Costa hit a couple balls, see how it works out.
Been going pretty good so far this season.
Yeah, 5 assists. 5. Usually you see the league leader at the end of the year around that 13, 15 kind of range.
Makes such a difference on those set pieces if you can just deliver the ball in the right areas consistently. And that's why Lobo has been so successful, because he knows just about where the ball's going to be, and that makes timing your run so much easier. the first goal that he scored against Galaxy 2, and the ball was bending into the far post area. I like to say, start at the corner of the 6, bend it into the far post. Goalkeeper doesn't have any chance to come and get it, and the defense have no chance to make a play on it because they're facing their own net.
All right, let's play. Let's do it. Referee pulling everyone together. Good a time as any to tell you can get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Just search for Tulsa Roughnecks or Fresno Football Club. Click on the follow button. Keep up with the latest news and scores and get reminders on your team's next match. Go to ESPN.com now. Click follow for your club.
Referee had to put some more ref edge down. It had worn away.
It had. Well, let's see what DaCosta did with his 16 minutes off. Just how awake are you now? Let's play ball. DaCosta steered away. And we're back. Lofted ball back in. Cochran takes it off the chest. And we're underway. For those of you rejoining us or having stuck around for this latest podcast edition of Matt and Mike in the evening, Fresno 2, Tulsa 1 in this USL Championship match. Week number 6. Game number 7 for Tulsa, most in the league. Tops in the West. The game in hand for everybody else will sneak up on them. And a loss here would be difficult. Head to Kaffa, he's onside. Kaffa sprinting forward, Kaffa! Put it over the top, trying to make his former team pay. It was deflected, corner coming.
Lobo did well to get a foot on this and put out for the corner kick. Lovely touch from Kaffa, taking him away from the defender. Chavez is there. Kaffa doesn't like to use the right peg unless he absolutely has to. Try to flick it with the outside of the left boot. And that allowed the defender, Lobo, to get back.
Service across. Headed back toward Daly. The shot by Johnson is in. 3-1 Fresno. The lights are on. Spotlight Jamal Johnson.
They had to defend a set piece at the other end. They did it well. They cleared the danger. Started the ball the other way, win a corner kick. It's a deep ball from Kaffa. Del Campo has really been on point in this second half. Tulsa never dealt with it. The clearing header fell kindly for Johnson. He gets up high, drives the ball down low. Says, thank you very much, Mr. Silva, for that headed ball. I know what to do with it. I'll put it in the back of the net. Difficult skill, that half pitch volley there. You have to hit down on the ball. Johnson did it perfectly.
Well, Tulsa Roughnecks Twitter account took a fine approach to explaining the power outage over on Twitter, saying that Fresno didn't pay their electric bill this month. The delay lasted 18 minutes, 51 seconds, and less than 2 minutes out of the delay, Jamal Johnson scores. Header, snap back, Del Campo is looking for it. There's blood in the water right now.
Del Campo's been feeling it this entire second half. How he's finding himself so open, so consistently on these set pieces.
Cochran's effort to avoid a corner goes for naught. Corner Tulsa. Corner Tulsa swung toward Lobo. Oh, watch out. He is prolific.
Again, it's consistency of delivery. Allows Lobo to get into the right areas. He didn't have to move much. Look on the player's face, who's in a run of form of scoring. He knows he should have put that one on target.
Cooper on the turn. Jamal Johnson whipping across. Header up and over from Jackson.
It's been a pretty open game, but it feels like he's getting even more so. Also, like they might be sending some players to the scorer's table to check in.
Have to now, don't you?
Absolutely.
We've got some really good attacking talent. AJ Jaquaz scored big goals in the championship before. And Tabena Uzo, Toby, is moving toward the fourth official at present. Dangerous square ball recovered by Del Campo.
And the touch was great from Cooper. The decision to turn and go back towards his own goal was the wrong one. It's one of those moments where Adam Smith would want him to go forward.
Play by Martin. Flashing forward, Jackson nearing the halfway line. Chavez, Jackson showing off the motor, and Lobo lofts it away. Push at the back of Jonu Silva, who's coming from an offside position. Here's the change. Uzo coming on. Younger brother of Uchenna Uzo, who's got some history in the Western Conference of the Championship. That's enough for Altamirano.
I'm a little surprised there's Altamirano coming off. It's been a real bright spot. Dangerous going forwards. The assist on the Tulsa goal.
Cooper lofting, cleared by Hedrick, who got knocked hard by Chavez. Tulsa, as is typical, plays quick.
Aristides, Adai, Reyes have all been a little quiet in the second half, although Adai is the holding midfielder. You don't want him to be too involved defensively, at least. Premier with the yellow card for the foul.
51-50 energy drink, yellow card to Fredlin Mom Premier. Premier coming highly recommended after his previous stops in Ocean City in League Two, and it Northeastern soccer power Fairleigh Dickinson after a stop from the University of Tampa. Juan Pablo Caffa has options, including Cooper short. I don't know that he's looking at goal, but who knows. Caffa feathering it over the top. Jackson pops it up. Del Campo in pursuit. Reyes. Throw for the Foxes. closing down space. Kaffa, one playing this back, which means Cochran has to play that with his feet, anything but his hands, really. Uses his chest to his benefit. That's why you stretch out during the break.
That was a difficult one from Kaffa. Entirely sure that the captain meant to do that.
Slide by Lobo. Martin couldn't maintain. Martin with a clumsy foul. This is a talking to.
Jim, my book.
Also going to the bench again.
Toby! Toby! Toby, stay up!
That's an interesting one. Moses Makinde set to come in. Hasn't played in a couple weeks. And it's Mon Premier who comes out, the outside back. Haitian getting a big opportunity to start here on the road. Second sub by Tulsa.
Marco Ancien had pushed Premier up the pitch further. He's actually playing in an outside mid-roll prior to being substituted off. And then they push forward as well as Tulsa try and find a way back into this game.
Fire squad Fresno is undeterred. Short-armed by Rodrigo da Costa. And the challenge from Bastidas draws a yellow. That's his 4th yellow card in 7 games. And all of a sudden, he is the first player in the championship this year to be on accumulation suspension warning.
Jackson releases the ball, and this is late, without a doubt.
$51.50 energy drink yellow card for Bastidas.
That was one heck of a pick. Jackson is up and moving, which is good.
He survived the 18 minutes and 51 seconds with great energy and excitement. Cochran. A die. Hit behind Basulovic. And here comes DaCosta. Overhit that.
Fresno will take that all day long. It's also trying to hit more quickly on the attack. Get the ball forwards.
Johnson sitting on a brace. Early ball is of Reyes.
I like Cooper's attitude. Just gets his head down, takes space.
It's another corner kick.
Forwards down this left flank so nicely.
Another scoring opportunity.
Basulovic.
Let's go.
Cooper. It'll be a corner. We'll just keep that up there, huh?
That's what Fresno want to have happen. Take as much time as they can. Referee hasn't already blown his whistle though. A reminder to get the move on.
Another corner kick sponsored by Central Valley Toyota dealer.
Kaffa missed everybody. Bounces off Chavez. I didn't think he thought that was going to get through. Jackson holding off a die.
Chavez definitely looked surprised that the ball was on his thigh.
Well, that slide is in a difficult point in the field. That is not the best use of Jaime Chavez's talents there. It's a yellow, his second of the season.
Thought he was far enough to be able to make that slide work. Better decisions need to be made. Just need to make sure that you keep the pressure on. Stay with the play. You don't need to dive in like that.
Sulovic, Chavez widening out. Loose right now from Fresno. Silva had the trailing run. Good turn. Driving in, Bastidas. Bastidas ricochets around. And Cochran will come over, grab it, and Silva goes over the top of him. Cochran being told to get on with it.
Apologies from Silva. Cochran says it's okay. Bastidas with some lovely footwork, getting into the box, but in the end, just ran out of room.
Had it down, tapped ahead, Jackson. Good pickup by Stajdehart.
Goalkeeper read it well.
Costa, Brazilian player out of Florida National University. Tulsa thought they were set in midfield. DaCosta wasn't even on the radar screen. Nicolencian gets a phone call. He's told there's a special player playing at a small school in Florida that they need to get a look at. Costa has a goal and 5 assists this year, 16 in Tulsa orange and white. Played by Martin. Well, Christian Cheney is going to come in and try and join the goal scoring parade. Jay Jakwa come on for the Roughnecks first. End of the line for Fabian Bastidas. Will exit at the far touchline. And Jaime Chavez, a family in California, a young child, 31 years old, coming to his home state and scoring for Fresno in his 3rd game for the club.
Wonderfully headed goal. Chavez. We will be hoping that he's able to emulate number 9 heading to the bench. Chavez didn't look very happy coming out. Valenciennes rolled his dice. Attacking options coming off the bench.
It's their final move.
Important for Fresno right now is they've got to understand that with that attacking move, losing the ball in transition can be all the more costly, as Tulsa will be looking forwards more quickly. And hit on the long ball driven forwards. Daly and Del Campo have to make sure that they are communicating. It'll be important for the attacking players to try and deny those balls forwards from the backs of Tulsa.
Another scoring opportunity, so Fresno, let's go.
Swinging ball from Kaffa. All the way through. Cooper could have a go if he really wants. Goes over the top. Kaffa crossing. Mickey Daly forward. There's still plenty of time here for Tulsa to make something of this. While they have conceded 12 times now in nearly 4 road games, this is a team that's scored 9. And a couple goals here have come back-to-back for them a few times this year. Luca Lobo has scored within 12 minutes twice, 2 different times through 6 games.
Definitely not a team to lay down.
Costa, really creative stuff and knocking it over the top. Silva saved away. Daly. Follow as the ball's still alive. And away from Uzo. And I think Silva took the brunt of that challenge. Mickey Daly. This could have been real tight down the stretch if not for this stop.
Bouncing ball, you gamble as a goalkeeper. Cochran nowhere near it. Silva does really well, Mickey Daly does better. Goalkeeper goes out. Defender, you go behind your goalkeeper if you can and back him up. Exactly what Daly did. Beautifully read by number 5.
Tulsa does not lay down. DaCosta. Recovery by Martin, but play will come back. And I wouldn't. If I've scored as many goals as they have this year, why would I stop?
Keep on keeping on. Said this is a different Tulsa team from last year. Not only in personnel, but in attitude.
Rodrigo DaCosta had her steered netward and caught by Cochran. 10 excruciating minutes ahead for Fresno and Tulsa.
How much stoppage time we'll get?
Let's see, 23 minutes. We'll run all the way to Stadtdehart. For those who are just tuning in and are missing the joke, at 57:11, the lights on the far side of the field went out abruptly, resulting in an 18-minute, 51-second lighting delay. Not lightning, lighting delay. As rare as that seems. The clock was reset to 57:11 on an ensuing set piece. Play continued. Stoppage time should be somewhere between 2 and 5 minutes.
Shortly thereafter, the lights came back on. Chavez got the go-ahead goal.
Chavez scored in the 56th, Jamal Johnson in the 59th. Johnson had the go-ahead goal in the first half for Fresno in the 33rd. Janu Silva responded in kind in the 39th. It's a game that's featured now 5 yellow cards. 30 shots in the first half between the two teams. This is a bookmaker's daydream. Tulsa clearly not done yet. DaCosta slips it through. Daly, nice step.
Beautifully done again by Daly, well read.
Beg your pardon, my mind we're in another game. 30-shot first half. Fresno, Tulsa. We've had 22 shots in this game. Jamal Johnson slid away, well done. Johnson sitting on a potential hat trick. Silva, so lead him into the corner. Slid back by Reyes. Jaquo recovers. Daly will circle away. Ball lofted over the top, caught by Cochran.
Now Campo didn't hear the keeper's shout. The knee into the diaphragm. Struggling for breath right now. Well, referee, I'm okay. I just can't breathe.
Oh.
Help me up, help me up. I'm okay. Grab the referee's leg, not just the arm.
Bustamante coming in, Jamal Johnson coming off. Well, we're going to call the voting early. Tonight's man of the match, brought to you by El Mexicano, is Jamal Johnson for Fresno Football Club. 2 goals.
Well, the first one was special. And the second one was all about the skill of the man to get in the position, have the patience to let the ball drop to him, and drive the ball downwards. So you're hitting the ball, the ground, right in front of the goalkeeper. A lot of patience, a lot of skill to hit that shot on the second goal from Jamal Johnson. Well deserving of the plaudits.
Blackburn and Manchester United Academy product. Native of Patterson, New Jersey, but moved over to England. 5, big collision. That's Uzo's large frame blasting into Cochran.
Good concentration from the goalkeeper to punch this one clear. Mr. Merritt blowing the whistle for the foul on Uzo. Bustamante has just done a straight switch with Jamal Johnson slotting in on the left side of midfield for Fresno.
Kaffa. Jackson heads it back. We'll change the direction. That's vicious. DaCosta returns. Uzo! Right into Cochran. By the way, I mentioned Jamal Johnson grew up in New Jersey. Or English, that's Macclesfield?
Yep.
Then they moved to when he was 5 years old?
That's right. Up in the Manchester area.
Okay.
Up in that neck of the woods.
Near to you? No?
No, other end of the country.
Oh. It's like saying, you know, between Fresno and Los Angeles, is that basically the poor level of geography I had there?
Pretty much.
Yeah, they're both in England. They're both in California.
Yep.
Into the 87th. These are man of the match presented by El Mexicano for his 2-goal performance. First 2 of the year.
When I say the other end of the country, I think Macclesfield's a lot closer to Southampton than.
So you passed Macclesfield on your way to Southampton games? Is that?
No. Not from where I grew up.
How does this work? I'm not getting it. What side of the road do you drive on?
The correct side. Over here we drive on the right side, and the UK they drive on the correct side. It's my attempt at political correctness.
That's it. All across field, Tulsa with a goal could get right back into this thing. Cochran ran over, he kept it in play. Adam Smith, the longtime goalkeeping coach, shouting his plaudits.
See Tulsa with the substitutes that have come in, and Jikwa, Ozo, and Canadian hanging out in the box, hoping that the ball will be delivered.
4,348 in attendance. Watching along with you. So loft all the way to Cochran. And went through the great lighting debacle of 2019. 18 minutes and 51 seconds of half light. Fresno scored 2 minutes before, scored 2 minutes after. I'm sure there's plenty of Fox fans hoping that they can employ the strategy again somewhere down the line with those kind of results.
It's like Kuromoto might be getting his Fresno debut.
Trying to shore up what's become a very wide open game down the stretch. Also looking for that goal to get back in. Cochran will collect it.
Well done by the goalkeeper. It's going to be important for him in this game to take control of his box. Keeps doing that, things like that will be really good. Except things like that will not be good. You need to make sure that you keep control of the ball, keep possession. Right now it just feels like the goalkeepers are playing keep away with each other.
To be fair, if I'm Toby Uzo, I'd consider that same tactic of Cochran sauntering over.
They give Adam Smith the chance to get Kuromoto into the action.
He's walking over, he'll come on in stoppage time, it appears. Well, there's a lot of competition in the midfield. Kuromoto sent his resume, applied for an open combine position, flew from Japan for a weekend, impressed. Great attitude, technically great. He was with the Honda organization, so he could have played maybe in a higher level of the J-League, but instead had a job there, had a lot of security in that position, wanted a shot to play in the States, and was signed to a deal. Two sides taking a chance on one another. And Pablo Kaffa comes off. Nice performance by Kaffa tonight after being left tactically irrelevant last week due to the red card.
The captain really stepped it up. Set up the first Johnson goal with his desire, want to, and commitment to the ball. So forgetting that he hit the woodwork right before the break off of a free kick.
Christian Cheney through the contact. clapping as he watches the seconds tick off the clock.
Fresno goalward, trying to head to the corner.
If you're Tulsa, I just think you got undone by a couple balls kind of right down your spine. I know that you're devastated by tonight. You're certainly disappointed.
Looking at that free kick, seemed like it was incorrectly taken. Silva looked like he was held by Del Campo. And Tulsa were a little hard done by a couple of moments there.
First touch on the ball for Kuramoto.
Attack continues to be on the mind of Alex Cooper as he goes forwards.
Slips it through Basulovic. Good recovery, Hedrick. Basulovic was going to have a tap in.
Basulovic was trying to be a sneaky fox there and wait for Stachta to put it to ground and then steal it.
Ball comes down to Silva. Trying to swipe that ahead to Jaquan. As far as Lobo, who is as is so far through 7 games, shockingly held off the score sheet. Well, you include the 6 consecutive wins in preseason. This is a great start for Fresno. Lifted up. Full-time whistle. Jamal Johnson's first 2 tallies of the year helped power Fresno through a power outage and to a 5th consecutive undefeated match to start the year. And a balled up fist to the air for Adam Smith as Fresno and Tulsa finished 3-1.
It was a good performance in the end by Fresno. They had some adversity. They came through together. You can see what it meant for the head coach. That little double fist pump of satisfaction as he walks out to his players. They came in with a game plan. And that man in your picture there, Chavez, getting the game-winning goal. And that man there with the ice on his knees with 2 to the tally as well. A great night for Fresno and the fans that come out to watch.
Well, tonight's moment of the match is brought to you by McCarty Insurance, and it's when we lost the lights. Fresno scored a couple minutes before. They scored a couple minutes out of it, and the fans made the best of it, and ultimately it proved a bit of a turning point.
They did. Fresno were able to come out the brighter of the 2 teams after the prolonged break. Squad of Fresno trying to illuminate proceedings, but it wasn't quite enough to restart the action. We had to wait for the floodlights to cool down before they could be restarted. And when they were restarted, it was very bright indeed for the home team.
Well, we'll turn the lights out on this telecast when we come back. Fresno 3, Tulsa 1. Don't ever underestimate the value of working lights. Back with highlights and stats after this. these fans have been waiting for it. It's about 4,500 in attendance at Chuck Chansey Park. Finally a home win to show for what's been a good start for the Foxes. There's your man of the match, Jamal Johnson, as he scores 2 goals, and we'll take a look at tonight's Zoom image of the match. Plenty to choose from, and it's the celebration from Juan Pablo Caffa and Aaron Basulovic as they're off to go celebrate with Jamal Johnson.
A great moment, as you said, lots to choose from. But just the joy on the players' faces tells you everything you need to know about what was going on at that moment. You see Johnson in the background too, heading out to celebrate with the fans.
Highlights ahead here. Fresno and Tulsa finished 3-1 in favor of the home side, the Foxes of the Central Valley. And we begin in the 33rd minute. Jamal Johnson, he's been waiting for that first of the year.
Oh, what a first it is. It'll probably be in the top 5 for goals of the week. I'd be surprised if it's not. Look at the effort from Caffa. Going to ground, keeps it alive, taps it over to Johnson. Johnson knows exactly what to do. Puts it in with the right foot. And Silver at the other end, not too much longer after the first goal was scored by Fresno. Assisted by Altamirano. Standing it up at the back post. You see the goalkeeper trying to get across. Wasn't able to set himself to try and dive to save it. And in the end, it was the tying goal. But Jackson said, hey, anything Altamirano can do, I can do as well. Look at the movement from Martin, opening the space up. And there's Chavez at the back post. Just put it into the back of the net. Beautifully done. Climbs up high. Goalkeeper no chance. And that was for the 2-1 lead. And then we turned the lights out on the action. Waited for the floodlights to come back on. And they kept things alive. Silva wasn't able to clear it effectively. But Johnson, with his second of the game, was very effective in volleying this into the back of the net. After Caffa's corner finds Del Campo at the back post. Nods it back across. Clearance wasn't a good one. And there was Johnson with aplomb to put it in for the third of the game for Fresno.
That's 2 goals in 4 minutes time, separated by 23 minutes. You do the math. And then some chances laid here for Fresno to try and add one more, for Tulsa to try and get back into the match.
Good thing for Tulsa is that they never say die. It was Lobo, the goal-scoring leader at the moment, trying to find a way off another set piece to get the ball in the back of the net. And then Silva challenges the goalkeeper. Cochran nowhere near it. If it wasn't for Daly clearing it off the line, it would have been 3-2 at that point, and it would have been a really interesting conclusion to the game. But that was some really good play from both teams tonight.
10 shots on target, total of 30 shots in this one. Fresno 3-1 winner, and Matt, this is precisely what the doctor ordered for the Foxes.
It's exactly what the doctor ordered, and that doctor being Adam Smith, the head coach for Fresno. He knows how important 3 points is. He's really excited the way the team is playing. He was excited that they were unbeaten, but he realizes, and said to me in the middle of the week, we've got to get 3 points at home. We've got to excite the fans, and I think he'll be thrilled with tonight's performance.
And let's peek at tonight's save of the game. It's brought to you by BMW, and it's C.J. Cochran making himself big, and Mickey Daly making the stop.
Well, the goalkeeper gambled, lost that gamble. He'll be thankful that Mickey Daly knows exactly what to do. Get behind the goalkeeper, get to the goal line, and with a sweep of the right leg, keeps the score at 3-1 at that point. And a great job from Mickey Daly.
Well, I hope they're using flash on their camera. Fuego the Fox enjoying the celebrity status at Chuck Chansey Park as the Foxes are winners tonight. The lights were off, then they were on. The crack team of electricians, Chuck Chansey Park, saving a night that was built for Fresno. For Matt Stubbington and our entire team led by Justin Cohen, Gage Tillotson, and Jared Valentin, it's Mike Watts saying so long and thanks for watching. Fresno enjoying a night of great lights, great goals, and a great result. Fresno gets 3 points, knocking off Tulsa 3-1.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.